will require some new money, but also looking to different existing resources.
As business leaders, we know that funds for any project are limited. We always look to determine what is the most efficient and effective way to use the funds that are available. We want to get the biggest bang for the buck.
A standoff is underway in Houston, Texas this morning as police try to negotiate with a man accused of killing his ex-wife and critically injuring his daughter as they waited in a church parking lot. The Harris County Sheriff's Office tweeted it had located 62-year-old Arthur Ettigan inside of a hotel. Reporter Janelle Ford has more.
Things are still very intense this morning. That standoff is still going on. This is that hotel. They believe that 62-year-old Arthur Ettigan is barricaded inside, who they believe gunned down his estranged wife and daughter at Christ the Redeemer Church last night.
The federal government shutdown is delaying disaster relief for some North Carolina farmers. The shutdown is mostly closed. The Federal Farm Service Agency responsible for documents required in farmer applications. You're listening to NCN News.
If you're from the South, you know there's no such thing as a stranger. Your mother's real name is Ma'am, and if it's on a plate, it had better be fried. And if you're a farmer in the South, you know that DeKalb, Asgrow, and Delta Pine are the South's finest in corn, soybeans, and cotton, delivering the highest yield potential on your farm with the seed that makes the South grow. Find the seed for your acres at growthesouth.com.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Today in Washington, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo plans to meet with a top North Korean negotiator as U.S. officials hope to plan a second summit between President Trump and that country's leader, Kim Jong-un. Barbara Pitt-Usher has more from the BBC.
Kim Yong-chol arrived on a commercial flight from Beijing. It was the first time in 19 years that a top North Korean official stayed overnight in the nation's capital. He's reported to be carrying a new letter from Kim Jong-un to President Trump. This is what he did last June, and the meeting in Singapore followed.
The Carolina Coyote Classic is set to hold its 6th annual hunt in February in Stanley County with cash prizes for the biggest kill and hunting teams that bring in the most dead coyotes. John McPherson started the hunt 6 years ago. He tells Spectrum News.
The success is trying to harvest and to remove as many coyotes in the shortest amount of time to actually see any sort of difference.
The light snow in the Northeast today is just a taste of what one's going to expect this weekend. The National Weather Service says as much as 2 feet of snow could fall across parts of Maine and New Hampshire from Sunday into Monday. In New York and New Jersey, the snow and ice is expected tomorrow night. WCBS TV reporter Jania DeLangelis.
While this morning's commute may be messy, it's this weekend's bout of snow and ice that they're especially concerned about.
I am telling you right now, for the event over the weekend, you should not be on the road.
We've been watching plows consistently come to the salt shed here. You can see the city is hard at work. Now they have plows positioned in all the 5 boroughs. Again, we're really going to see an impact for your commute from Saturday to Monday. As city officials said, if you can, just stay off the roads and stay safe.
School officials in Curtisville have identified a boy whose body was found in a body of water in Guilford County. A Guilford County elementary school principal identified the boy as 7-year-old Logan Sproul. Mike Rayleigh.
AM 590 WCAB Rutherfordton with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The partial government shutdown setting a new record with every added day. It's now the 28th day. ABC's Lana Zach on Capitol Hill.
Though there is little movement towards reopening the government, there are no shortage of political moves being made here in Washington. Late Thursday, President Trump suddenly grounded a congressional delegation, including Speaker Nancy Pelosi, writing in a letter that he's postponing their trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan, where they were set to meet with U.S. troops and NATO allies. The president's letter coming one day after Speaker Pelosi sent her own letter asking the president to postpone his State of the Union speech during the shutdown.
The shutdown over border wall funding affecting around 800,000 workers, either furloughed or, like Anthony Pavarnik, the chief border agent in Yuma, Arizona area, working without pay.
We've missed one paycheck. It's certainly impactful to our agents. But all of our agents really have, the morale is really good here. And they all took an oath of office to protect this country.
He says his team this week encountered nearly 400 migrants who burrowed under a section of a wall already in place on the U.S.-Mexico border. It's sentencing day for the Chicago police officer convicted of killing a teenager in 2014.
Former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke has been convicted of second-degree murder and 16 counts of aggravated battery, one for each bullet fired at teenager Laquan McDonald. Van Dyke's defense team has submitted a recommendation of probation, though the prosecution pointing to guidelines that would require a minimum 18 years behind bars.
One skier is dead, another in critical condition after an avalanche at a New Mexico ski resort. Arturo Tenorio helped with the rescue at Taos Ski Valley.
At the bottom of the slide, there was over, I know we don't have a measuring stick, but I believe there was over 10 feet of snow down there.
Tesla chief Elon Musk announcing cutbacks of 7% today for Tesla. You're listening to ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the new 4-pack special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and save 50% off the 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's 1-800-635-1825. Or go to MyPillow.com, click the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code SKY at checkout.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Thousands are set to march in Washington today in the 46th annual March for Life. Here's ABC's Andy Field.
Last year, President Trump addressed tens of thousands of anti-abortion demonstrators marching to the Supreme Court.
Because you believe that every life is sacred.
The president promising federal and Supreme Court justices who will help overturn Roe v. Wade, the decision that legalized abortion in the U.S. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Britain's Prince Philip is recovering after his SUV was involved in a crash.
Prince Philip had just pulled onto a roadway when his SUV and another car collided. Many here are asking at 97, should he still be driving? Road safety spokesman Pete Williams.
I think the majority of older drivers are actually quite good at restricting and limiting their own driving when they find certain circumstances more difficult. So many people will not drive at night, perhaps just stick to local roads.
Philip told eyewitnesses he had been dazzled by the sun. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
It's back to the bargaining table again today for teachers in L.A. Now into day 5 of their strike. Schools are still open, staffed by substitute teachers and volunteers. Teens now have their own way onto Amazon. The company has launched its Amazon for Teens program, giving 13 to 17-year-olds the option to set up their own profiles on the site. Parents can set up the option to approve or deny every purchase or simply set up a spending limit. This is ABC News.
Results not typical. Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in personal or business taxes and you can't afford to pay? Get tax representation. The industry experts with negotiating with the IRS with an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call today and the IRS will be contacted the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-556-7089. 800-556-7089. That's 800-556-7089.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Come on over to Oakland Feed and Seed for all your animal health needs. Love your pets? Let them know it. Oakland Feed and Seed has all-in-one worm pills, flea pills, dog shots, and much more. In addition to that, trust Oakland Feed and Seed for jelly, jams, and honey, both clover and sourwood. Depend on Scott and his team to always have what you're looking for. Come check them out. You'll never know what you'll find. Now, that's my kind of store. Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road, Spindale.
That system from last night, long gone. We have dry weather to look forward to today. It's Friday. It's a nice day. Partly cloudy, milder, mid-50s to about 60 for the highs. That'll feel pretty good. Tonight, it's mostly cloudy. It's chilly. The low temperature in the low to mid-40s, although towards Charlotte, we may only be in the upper 40s for lows. Then tomorrow is cloudy. It's windy. It's warmer. The high in the low 60s. We do have a chance for rain, but it's more likely Saturday night. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
The forecast is like one of those, well, hang around, it's going to change kind of thing, because we have mostly sunny skies today, but then tonight it's showers coming, then the showers tomorrow night. It's getting really, really cold, and Sunday we got gusty winds coming in, 23 miles per hour wind gust on Sunday, wind chill value as low as 23. Monday, mostly sunny skies again, mostly clear Monday night. Rain comes back in here on Tuesday. And Wednesday, there's a slight chance of snow mixed with rain. So it's one of those, well, hang around a little bit. It's probably going to change the weather forecast. Right now, 38 degrees, and it is intensely foggy out there, folks. If you have not been out yet, please, please, please allow yourself extra time because it's hard to see anywhere because of the thick, thick fog out there. It is very, very thick, dangerously thick. So watch out for that. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Robert Scott Lawson, age 56, of Rutherfordton, died Wednesday at Hospice of Carolina Foothills. A private entombment will be conducted at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery with Reverend Kevin Rom officiating. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Robert Scott Lawson. Michael McDaniel, age 69, of Forest City, died Tuesday at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 11 o'clock today at Smith Grove Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery with military honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Michael McDaniel. John W. Waters, age 69, of Ellenboro, died Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 4 o'clock today at Poors Ford Baptist Church. Burial will follow in Spindale City Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at Poors Ford Baptist Church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services, serving the family of John W. Waters. Forrest Kuhn, age 71, of Rutherfordton, died Wednesday at Mission Hospital in Nashville. The family will receive friends from 4 until 8 o'clock this evening at McMahon's Funeral Home. The service will be at Gilkey United Methodist Church at 2 o'clock Saturday. Military Cemetery burial will be at the Gilkey United Methodist Church Cemetery with military honors provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Forrest Kuhn. Rose Matheny, age 47, of Bostic, died Monday at Greenville Memorial Hospital. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday at Grace Chapel Foursquare Church. Burial will be following in the Sandy Run Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 this evening. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services, serving the family of Rose Matheny. Gene Morgan, age 82, of Forest City, died Tuesday, January the 15th, at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A gathering of family and friends will be conducted from 3 until 5 on Saturday at Harrelson Funeral Home, and Harrelson Funeral Home has been entrusted with the arrangements for Gene Morgan. Mrs. Ruth Waters Pope, 91, of Sunshine, died Sunday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday at Sandy Level Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The visitation will be from 12:30 until 1:45 Saturday at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Mrs. Ruth Waters Pope. Catherine Wilkerson Good, age 72, of Shelby, passed away Sunday. Funeral will be conducted at Gold Hill Baptist Church in Rutherfordton on Saturday at 11 o'clock. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the funeral. Burial will follow in the church cemetery, and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Catherine Wilkerson Good. Grace Marie Walker, 81, of Smith Street, Forest City, died Tuesday at Oak Grove Health Care. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Sunday at Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Alexander Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Grace Marie Walker. Bill Garrity, age 92, of Lowell, died Wednesday at Gaston Memorial Hospital. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Monday at Providence United Methodist Church. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery with military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time in the Family Life Center. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Bill Garrity.
Minnesota Democrat Dean Phillips said the meeting provided a little bit of daylight through which we can walk. Respect? Trust? How can this be? Democrats and Trump? Apparently, the drive-by media's Queen Pelosi propaganda campaign has some holes. And now Trump canceling her trip and asking her to stay in town. Ha! You have to love it, folks.
When you're hiring, some job boards make you sort through tons of the wrong resumes, which makes finding a great candidate like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. That's not smart. Then there's the smart way at ZipRecruiter. Unlike other job sites, ZipRecruiter finds great candidates for you. That's why you should try it now for free. Their powerful matching technology scans thousands of resumes to identify people with the right skills, education, and experience, and actively invites them to apply to your job, so you get qualified candidates fast. And while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack.
ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. That's based on hiring sites on Trustpilot with over 1,000 reviews. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Good morning. Good morning.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford-Ton.
It was the end of June of 1876. Crazy Horse, along with Sitting Bull, had just completed the greatest victory of the Indians over the U.S. cavalry with the defeat of George Custer at the Little Bighorn. The American people demanded revenge. So, General Nelson Miles mounted a winter campaign. It was thought by keeping the Indians on the run throughout the winter would be devastating to them. General Miles convinced a number of Indians to return to the reservations. Meanwhile, Sitting Bull took his people to Canada. Crazy Horse, along with his over 1,000 Sioux and Cheyenne, also refused to surrender, but he stayed in Montana. Being constantly pushed, Crazy Horse and his people were suffering from starvation and sickness. Then on January 8, 1877, in the last battle Crazy Horse was ever to be engaged, General Miles came across his camp on the Tongue River. Miles opened up his howitzers, forcing the Indians to retreat to the hills in a snowstorm. With ammunition gone for their rifles, they were using only bows and arrows to defend themselves. Using the blinding snowstorm as shelter, Crazy Horse's people were able to escape. With their shelters, food, and winter clothes left behind, they spent a miserable winter. Although Crazy Horse wasn't ever defeated in battle, he realized that General Miles would eventually hunt his people down and destroy them. So in May of 1877, less than a year from his great victory at Little Bighorn, Crazy Horse, along with his ragtag group of 217 men and 672 women, surrendered to the military. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Thanks, Dakota Lipsay. 16 minutes now past 7 o'clock. Friday morning report opens up here with the phone calls here in just a few moments. Let me remind you, though, the next Tar Heel game is tomorrow morning. It's 10:30 countdown to tip-off against Tar Heels and Miami. Not getting anybody at the phones there in the Sheriff's Department, so we're going to move on and go to the 911 communications and maybe come back to them and see if they can get that phone answered. It's time for this.
Health insurance is complicated, and with healthcare reform on the way, it's not getting any simpler. If you've got questions, we've got agents. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent can walk you through the changes and offer you the right healthcare plan with the right benefits for you. Healthcare may be changing, but our superior service isn't. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Here's Marie now with the 911 Communications Center report. Marie, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Okay, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Communications Center has processed 408 911 administrative calls, which consisted of 42 for EMS, 19 for rescue. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Department had 150. Forest City had 76. Lake Lure had 4. Rutherford had 26. Spindle had 33. For fire calls, Forest City responded to a motor vehicle accident. Hudlow responded to a structure fire assisted by Cherry Mountain and Forest City. SDO responded to a field fire and a motor vehicle accident. And that's all I have for the morning.
Thanks so much. You have a great day over there.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. Well, across the road at Farmer's Friend, Feed, Seed, and Supplies have all your farm supplies available. They have all types of new and used farm equipment. They have things like straw, $5 a bale, fescue hay, $5 per square bale. And if you're looking for propane, they have propane. Come get your tanks filled. Propane grill tanks, 20 pounds, only $10.99. They got baler twine, kills all for those weeds, $47.99 for 2.5 gallon. Woods, Batwing, 180 Bush Hog, all these things. Check them out over at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supplies. You'll find all kinds of dog food over there, pet food, anything you're looking for, plenty of hay, straw, bundles of hay and straw. It is an amazing store. Right across the road here from us, 7:30 is opening time. I think the gate's already open over there, but they open at 7:30 until 5:30, Monday through Friday, 7:30 until 2 on Saturday. That's Farmer's Friend, Feed, Seed, and Supply. Here's Deputy Walker now with the report from the Sheriff's Department this morning. Deputy Walker, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Good. What's on the report?
On the report, so in the last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 150 calls for service. The jail's processed 13 arrests and is currently housing 177 individuals. Starting with the report, got a few arrest reports here to read off. Kristen Pearson was arrested for contempt of court, perjury, court violations. Justin Palmer Leslie was arrested for assault and physical injury, assault on a government official, and resisting a public officer. Caleb Logan was arrested for disorderly conduct. Philip Ledford was arrested for assault and battery. Moving on to incident investigations reports. Joy Higgins reported a secondary trespass. Jennifer Tate reported a misdemeanor larceny. Let's see here. D. Henderson reported assault and physical injury, assault on a government official, and resist, obstructing, delay public official. Teddy Lovelace reported a damage to personal property, and Nicole Holland reported a larceny of motor vehicle. And that's it, sir.
Deputy Walker, we do appreciate that report, and you be safe out there this weekend.
Will do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll check in next down in the Danieltown, the SDO Fire District, in just a moment. McCurry Deck Motors has been providing an impressive selection of automobiles for over 50 years. At McCurry Deck, you can browse the great selection of GMC automobiles and drive away in one knowing you have gotten the best deal possible. The team at McCurry Deck Motors counts it a privilege to make you a happy and satisfied customer. Why not test drive one of the comfortable and stylish GMCs today? At GMC, we are professional grade. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of GMC, Chevy, and Buick. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Ruby Taylor is up next in Danieltown, overlooking the SDO Fire District. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department had one call, and on my birthday calendar, I've got Katie Jones, John Taylor, Nick Melton, and Robert Codd having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Then tomorrow, Roger Charlie, Roger Root, and Dorothy Carroll having birthdays. And Mr. and Mrs. Robert Miller's having an anniversary tomorrow. I hope they have a nice day. Then Sunday, Hovis Root, Billy Tony, Steve Taylor, Carolyn Tate, Brian Root, Matt McDaniel, and Bradley Lale having birthdays Sunday, and hope they have a nice day. The signs are in the breast today and tomorrow, and go into the heart on Sunday. Jim, that's all I got.
Ruby, I do appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325. Hey, let me recommend you try that Tarkett flooring on for size at your house. Boy, it's beautiful, it's resilient, it lasts a long, long time, it keeps its beauty for a long, long time. And right now you can find out more about it. If you'll just stop by Southern Carpet, they're the only ones I know of that carries this Tarkett flooring, and boy, is it a fine piece of material. Just hurry and take advantage of it. Ask them about all the questions you want to ask about this Tarkett flooring at Southern Carpet. They are in business to help you get what you want, satisfy you as a customer, so you will recommend them to your friends and neighbors. Southern Carpet. Only at Southern Carpet can you find Tarkett flooring, 1512 West Main Street, and visit them on the web at southerncarpet.net. And also, if you're looking for an office space, they got an office for rent right there beside of them, between them and Miracle Ear. There's a beautiful office space you might want to consider renting from them. So call them at 245-0310. Here's Homer now. Homer's overlooking things for us over at Rumbling Ball. Homer, how you doing this morning?
Doing good. How about y'all?
Good, good. How's it going up there with all the activities going on? Pretty quiet, huh?
Yeah, it's sort of quiet right now. A few employees venturing in and out. It'll probably pick up a little. It's supposed to be a decent day today. We'll start with the weather. It's pretty foggy up here. I was surprised at how foggy it was when I come out this morning.
Yeah, really.
Still, the visibility is pretty low. Temperature is on the chilly side. It's 41 at midnight. Currently, it's 35. Not a lot going on up here today. Probably be a few golfers, a few people checking in. Going to have a good chance of rain tomorrow. Rainfall totals near an inch I've seen. Then Sunday's supposed to get cold. The low is supposed to get down in the teens to maybe 20. So this weather is sort of up and down, and we can enjoy today, but like I said, Sunday and the Monday is supposed to be really cold. Nothing else going on here, no activities or anything. Just a normal weekend here at Rumbling Bog. Like I said, not a whole lot going on at all up here.
All right, be careful up there, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, we thank you.
All right, bye-bye. 25 minutes after 7 o'clock. My guest this morning, a little after 8 o'clock, is Alicia Edwards. She's the founder of Solutions Are Here. And it's I'd like for you to meet her and find out more about what she does and what this office is all about. It's really something that we need in this area. And I'm glad Alicia's willing to come by and talk about that in a few minutes. That's just more a little after 8 o'clock. You'll be right here in the Blue Room. Alicia Edwards, the founder and the owner-manager of Solutions Are Here. It's a great opportunity to learn more about that. Please hang around for that. 26 now after the hour, and we have Bob on the phone. Bob Hodge, how you doing this morning?
Oh, just fine on this Friday morning.
I can't hardly see you, Bob. It's so foggy out there.
Yeah, it's a little froggy up here this morning there, but I don't think it's raining any right now, but we had some yesterday evening there and had some sleet yesterday evening started off with. But,
we did, yeah. We had several reports about that around the county.
Yeah.
So it surprised me.
But looked like the latter part of the weekend's going to get cold again, so have to prepare for that and everything. So look like all the snow's going to stay up in the mountains, though, but we're going to get the cold air off of it there.
I believe we are. You'll have to wear some socks this weekend, Bob.
Yeah, I know it there. Oh. Well, let's see, Jim, up here with the fire department, entered called a smoke in a residence. Wasn't much to that. And then a couple of medical calls, and that's about it with the fire department. Want to say happy birthday to Angel Bridges this morning. And then birthdays for Saturday, Martha Thompson, and for Sunday, Becky Gillian. And Jim, that's about it up here in our neck of the woods this morning, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Thanks, Bob. You too. Be careful up there, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And you can hear Bob most afternoons with Tom Green's Afternoon Report right here.
JD and Marie Shook have lost their minds, or they've just got the New Year spirit. Starting now, every time you visit the Recliner Center, you can register to win a brand spanking new recliner. A recliner will be given away every month from now and just whenever. All you have to do is go to the Recliner Center and register. Now, after the drawing, the names will be tossed out, and at the beginning of the month, a new box will be ready for you to register again. So don't miss out on your chance to win a recliner from the Recliner Center. This is JD and Marie's way of saying thank you to all their friends and customers for making them a success for over 30 years. Don't forget to check out the Spring Air bedding. Doctors tell us a good night's sleep is very important for energy and stamina. Shouldn't you be resting better this year and having more energy? Spring Air bedding and a chance to win a recliner. And the Recliner Center will now be opening on Mondays and Tuesdays. Store hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. They're on Coopers Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
I tell you, those recliners from Recliner Center really do help you sleep. You know what I'm saying? You sort of sit down in them and they just all of a sudden you're gone. You know, I don't think I can say this too much because, you know, if you had Duke Energy or one of the utility companies come out and check your house about how safe it is, not safe, but in terms of keeping the warm in and the cold out, they would tell you the windows and the doors are one of the prime areas that really need to be tightened up. We have a good furnace system, but the windows and doors are letting the warm air out and the cold air in, then you're just defeating your purpose. That's why I can't say this too much. Henson Building Material has a great opportunity for you to find out more about replacing those doors and windows. Now, talk with them over at David Allen's over there. He can give you a quote on what you need to help your house become more efficient in these hot and cold seasons. In the summertime, it'd be great. In the wintertime, now that we got all this wind blowing, it'd be perfect. David's got a lot of years of experience in that construction field with his expertise running in doors and windows. So it's important if you want to save energy costs, want to keep your family warm this winter. Now's a good time to have that replaced. Talk with them over there. Find out more about it. You don't have to make a decision right now. Just go find out what they're all about. Henson has got plenty of ideas to help you walk through that process of decision making. Henson has more than you think. They're more than just a lumberyard. They can be your utility saving company as well. Check them out on Duke Street, Forest City. Now here's Sue Price over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District with our report today. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
Foggy over there?
It's foggy, and we just getting a little shower of rain. But
are you right now?
It just quit.
Wow.
Just quit. But we can expect anything these days, looks like.
Can't we though? It's amazing.
I got 40 degrees on the front porch. It's always a couple of degrees colder in the back, but I didn't check yet this morning. And let's see, the fire department assisted had load call, and don't have any birthdays on my calendar today, and nothing on my church calendar. So Fairview's got a birthday for Joe Kimler, and First Broad has a birthday for Sarah Petty Crank. So I hope those folks will have a good day, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day, even if the weather is not too good. But looks like we're going to have some colder weather coming in.
Be a great time to stay inside and listen to 100.9 FM.
That's true. That'd be a good thing to do. Let's see, the Golden Valley Community Club will be meeting Monday night. We start at 7 o'clock with a covered dish meal and then have a business meeting. There's an Italian supper coming up, Italian night supper coming up Saturday, January 26th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, and that's on 2500 Hollis Road, Ellenboro. It's sponsored by the Hopewell Hollis Ruitans. It's an all-you-can-eat. Adults are $10, children $5, under 6 eat free. Lasagna, spaghetti, salad bar, French bread, homemade desserts, and they always have a really good supper. And so far, that's the only announcements I have. It's just quiet and calm over here right now, looking for a good day, and you have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. Enjoy yours as well, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, right, bye-bye.
When your name is on the company, you know you want it done right. That's what Hutchins Pest Control does. They do it right. With over 43 years of experience behind the name, you can rest assured when you call on Tim Hutchins and his team of trained professionals that you know you've called the honest, dependable, and on-time service company. They appreciate the confidence you've placed in them by voting them the best of the best for 8 years. Call on them to get your home or office protected. That number is 287-5171. That's Hutchins Pest Control.
Well, there's an office, a new office opening up here. I've been talking a little bit about it. It's called Solutions Are Here. Alicia Edwards is the founder and owner of that company. So if you're in the process now dealing with difficult times in your life, maybe a marriage problem, maybe depression, anxiety, some trauma, maybe got parenting problems, or if you need someone to talk to, that's where Solutions Are Here was going to be to your benefit. They provide individual therapy, anger management classes, parenting classes, spiritual therapy. And Alicia Edwards is the trained professional, and she has had years of experience doing this, and she'd love to help you. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to. Let Alicia help with that. You know it's okay to get help. Don't carry this burden around by yourself. Solutions Are Here would like to help you find that solution that leads to success. Here's the phone number to call, 289-5595 or 382-0285. Now, Alicia's going to be my guest this morning a little after 8 o'clock. We'll talk more about this, but I want you to get acquainted with her and recognize that there is a solution, and it's okay to get help. Solutions Are Here. All right, we're up to upstate Union Mills on our next stop. The Strange stops right here at Brenda Kelly's house. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you on this fabulous foggy Friday morning?
I'm fogged in over here.
It is up here too.
Boy, I tell you, it was foggy when I left, but by the time Todd got here, he said it's so dense out there, and I looked. Sure enough, I can hardly see the nose on the end of my face.
Oh, my goodness. You'll have to do like Rudolph, put your light on it.
Yeah.
But we hope everybody's having a good day so far today. I've got 34 degrees on the front porch, and I've had 0.2 of an inch of rain. I've got one birthday on the Gilkey Ruitan, and that's Van Sheehan. I don't have anything on around here. So we hope Van has a good day on his special day. And in ways of announcement, we've got a country breakfast buffet Saturday, January the 26th from 7 to 10 a.m. And this will be at the White House Community Center on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills. Adults, $6. Children, 6 to 12, $3. Under 6 eat free. And they've got eggs, grits, West Court sausage, Hunter's livermousse, biscuits, sausage, plain gravy, taters, applesauce, French toast, orange juice and coffee, jams and jellies. And all proceeds go for the upkeep of the building. That's a lot of food for just $6.
It is.
So anybody that's up that way on January the 26th, stop in and have breakfast. I don't have anything else going on that I know of.
All right. Just going to sort of sit around, take it easy this weekend, stay out of the cold, I guess. I'm
going to sit around, take it easy, and wait for the Tar Heels to play tomorrow.
Well, they play early tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
I get to watch them. Yeah. I'll turn the radio on, because the radio tells stuff before it comes on TV.
They do.
And yeah, and so if something exciting's happening, I'll run out to the TV and watch it.
Well, the broadcast team for the Tar Heels, they know more about the team members and everything because they live with them. You know, they stay with them all the time.
That's exactly right.
These TV folks, they just do whatever game comes down the pike.
That's right. They don't cover it as good. You are so right there.
Well, listen, you enjoy your weekend and stay out of the fog, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, be careful.
All right.
Catch you later.
All right, bye. Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills. It's 7:37 right now. And that game countdown to tip-off tomorrow is 10:30. And we'll have that for you both on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds right here from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
And if you want to rock and roll, be sure to join Gregory Saturday night here on the program. Rebel Yell is called, 9 until 11, and he rocks and rolls, buddy. So tune in and let Greg know you're listening to him. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. You can't get much better than that. Highly recommended. It's a worldwide company, but it's a product made in the good old U.S. of A. And we have right here in Rutherford County one of the finest technicians around. That's Lisa Terry. She's a hearing specialist, and she's helped so many of your friends and so many of my friends get better hearing. There are so many features about this Miracle Ear Genius 2.0 that you need to check out and find out. There's a free hearing test available for you. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't take a lot of time, but it's something that sort of gives you a heads up on what's going on in there. One ear, both ears mean you may have good hearing. You just maybe have selective hearing like so many of us. But go by Miracle Ear office there in Forest City at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102, and find out more about your hearing and move in the direction of doing something positive for yourself this year. All right, we're over to Ellenboro. This train don't carry no gamblers, though, Luther. How you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good for you.
Having a good time down here, boxing up the fog.
You stay out of that fog, man.
We're going to box it up and sell it. Slice it off, pick it up by the handful, really.
It's about thick enough, isn't it?
It's really foggy out there. It'll be all right. We'll set. It'll draw off terrific. Blue eye. But we're having a good time there. We're not doing anything, but having a good time. Everybody's just trying to get their gas, their biscuits, and move on, get the last day of this weekend. Other than that, things are going good. Fire department didn't have anything yesterday, last night. Everything quiet with them, just nothing going on there. But we wish happy birthday today, Miss Caroline Wilkie, she's having a birthday today. And also David Decker's having a birthday today. So hope these people have a great day and enjoy their day. And I'm going to have a good time today. You have a great time up there. We'll talk to you Monday.
Luther, thank you. I'll see you then. Have a good one now.
All right, take care now.
Bye. Luther of Ellenboro leaves us time now for birthdays and anniversaries, and it is the 18th day of January. We're on the downhill side of this month already. Can you believe it? 18th day of January, birthdays and anniversaries are being accepted now. Phone lines have been cleared at 287-3356, and we've got donuts to give away from Daylight Donuts House over there at Granny's Bakery. The winner gets the donuts. If your name's in the box, you'll be eligible to win. 287-3356.
I told my friend about Olmsted Plumbing, and boy, was she happy.
What did she have to say?
I told her to call 245-7302, and they would get right out there.
And did she say she would
I told her to ask around. Homeowners, builders, and everybody likes Olmsted. Eric and Chad Olmsted and their team understand the homeowners' needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
Well, what was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Olmsted Plumbing.
When you need daycare services for your adult loved one, Rutherford Life Services is always there for a dependable and loving environment. Rutherford Life offers a place to go during the daytime for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and creative activities. Caregivers can go to work knowing that their loved one is in a safe and reliable place. Rutherford Life is licensed by the North Carolina Division of Aging. Rutherford Life has a full staff of trained professionals who show love and support. Call them today and let them answer any questions you may have concerning adult daycare services. 828-288-1697 or visit the facility at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Deborah Hawkins over in the Shiloh community. I want to wish her a happy birthday. Also celebrating is Ben Sheehan. Others on the birthday list today is Betty Jenkins. She's the owner of Norm's Coin. She had a birthday yesterday. Tiffany Gibbs, Shingle Hollow, has a birthday. And Sarah Frank of Sunshine also celebrated a birthday. And we're being kind to Larry Lovelace, which on Walmart lives in Spindale. I want to wish him a happy birthday as well. Larry Lovelace. We'll find out who's going to win the donuts here in just a moment.
In the Outer Illustrators, the story about the newly promoted Army colonel who was admiring his new office. It was an impressive office, and he was impressed with his new status. He felt that he was somebody and wanted others to know just how important he was. He had not been in the new office very long when there was a knock at the door. It was a lowly private. The colonel saw this as an opportunity to look impressive. He told the private to wait just a minute because he was on the phone. In a loud voice, enough to be heard by his first visitor, the colonel said, "Yes, sir, General. I'll call the president this afternoon. No, sir, I won't forget." After this little charade, the private was called in and asked what he wanted. The private replied, "Well, sir, I've come to hook up your phone." Don't we often look silly when we try to impress others by our status, wealth, or position? Putting on a show for others in order to gain their esteem and respect is a shortcut for failure. I am sure the private in our story could hardly keep from laughing as he entered the colonel's office. We need to be satisfied being who we are. Most people are not stupid and naive. It doesn't take them long to discover when we are putting on an act. They are anything but impressed. The writer of the proverb says, "A man's pride brings him low, but a man of lowly spirit gains honor." There's a dichotomy that says that the way up is, first of all, to go down. To be exalted is the result of self-humbling. Respect from others is directly related to being an authentic and a transparent person. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And congratulations going out to Tiffany Gibbs up in Shingle Hollow. She won the Daylight Donuts this morning from Random Drawing. Tiffany Gibbs having a birthday, so we wish her happy birthday. And coming up next hour, we have Alicia Edwards coming in a little after 8 o'clock this morning to talk about her business solutions are here. And then at the bottom of the hour, 8:30, Word of Faith will be here again, giving their side of the story, right here live exclusively on WCAB. Meanwhile, let's enjoy more of our hits from the Golden Ages.
So blue, for that's what love will do. And darling, I'm so surprised. Oh, when I first realized that you were fooling me. And say that our love won't grow, but I just want to tell them that they don't know. For as long as you're in love with me, our love will grow wider, deeper than any sea. And of all the things that I want in this whole wide world is just for you to say that you'll be my girl. And woo, wanting you, I'm lonely and blue. I'm so history, don't know much biology, don't know much about a science book, don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world. trigonometry. Don't know much about algebra. Don't know what a slide rule is for. But I do know 1 and 1 is 2. And if this one could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. Now, I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be. For maybe by being an A student, baby, I can win your love for me. Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about a science book. Don't know much about the French I took. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. La ta 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 ta. History. Biology. Well, la ta 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 ta. Science book. French I took. Yeah, but I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
In my heart, caused by you. If we could start anew, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd gladly take you back and tempt the hand of fate. Tears on my pillow, pain in my heart, caused by you. Love is not a gadget. Love is not a toy. When you find the one you love, she'll fill your heart with joy. If we could start anew, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd gladly take you back and tempt the hand of fate. Tears on my pillow, pain in my heart, caused by
Get the first weather forecast of the day, sports, and today's local news on your favorite wake-up call. Weekday mornings with Bishop, Jim Bishop, on WCAB.
Stand by for all the latest updates from North Carolina News Network and ABC National News. There's a lot going on out there. We need to keep you informed as well as entertained. That's our goal right here at 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Best of both worlds, 24/7.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Washington is waking up to yet another bombshell headline about alleged ties between members of the Trump administration and the Russian government. Law enforcement sources tell BuzzFeed News that President Trump directed his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, to lie to Congress about negotiations to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Political analyst Larry Sabato says if proven, these are impeachable offenses.
The key, of course, is whether Trump encouraged Michael Cohen to lie before Congress. because there's just no question that is suborning perjury before Congress, and it's also obstruction of justice.
UNC's Board of Trustees is having an emergency meeting this morning. Meanwhile, 20 members of the panel say they're supporting Chancellor Carol Folt, who is stepping down at the end of the month. North Carolina has mandated Duke Energy close all of its coal ash sites, including the one at the Marshall Steam Station in Catawba County, north of Charlotte. On Thursday, neighbors got a chance to weigh in on how the sites should be closed. Lake Norman resident Joan Gardner tells WSOC News.
We know we have to start doing more for the environment. We have to start looking at money in a different way and use money to prevent bad things from happening.
The mayor of North Carolina's largest city will share the stage with Governor Roy Cooper and others at the annual Martin Luther King Jr. service for state government employees. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles is the special guest speaker for today's King holiday observance in downtown Raleigh. New York City officials are sending food stamp recipients 2 checks this month ahead of what could be an overall shutdown in all food stamps. Omega is a single mother of 6 in New York and says she doesn't know how her family will survive even though she is working full-time.
There's no way to look at your child and say, you might have to go to bed hungry tonight because food stamps stopped.
You're listening to NCN News.
Where are the leaders of tomorrow shaped and molded? They're shaped on the courts, fields, mats, and tracks of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. The NCHSAA is our 417-member schools, impacting communities across the state of North Carolina. From Murphy to Manteo, the NCHSAA is coaches, administrators, and officials working tirelessly to invest in the next generation of leaders for our great state. Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
A statewide school bond of almost $2 billion could end up on ballots next November if it can get approval from the legislature this year. Superintendent Mark Johnson supports it and says while it's up to the counties to make their own decisions about school upgrades, a lot of them don't have the funds.
So many of our citizens live in rural North Carolina in counties that don't have the tax base to do what's right for their students. It's time for us to get out there to the voters, and we are going to have to convince the voters this is the right thing.
High-level talks are expected today on finalizing plans for a second summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is expected to meet with a former North Korean spy chief at a hotel in Washington today, and that could be followed by a White House meeting. Neither country has made any announcement about these discussions. There's been a lack of progress in these talks so far. Vice President Pence says the U.S. is still waiting for concrete steps by North Korea to dismantle its nuclear weapons.
A North Carolina man is jailed on a $5 million bond after authorities say he killed a man at an apartment complex last year. WITN in Greenville reports police say that warrants were obtained for Ricardo Hardison last Friday after he had been on the run for nearly 2 months. A brand new Oreo is making its debut on the cookie scene.
Are you a double stuff lover?
Best friend and an Oreo cookie.
Before you unscrew the chocolate wafers and scrape off the cream with your teeth, it gets better. Cookie lovers are sharing their joy on social media over brand new Oreo Most Stuffs. They have triple the filling of a regular Oreo. They're also more than double the 45 calories. One Most Stuff adds up to 110 calories. The price is $3 a box. The milk is on you. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
From ABC News.
I'm Michelle Franzen. No talks on the schedule and no end in sight for the partial government shutdown that's now into day 28. President Trump citing the shutdown when he pulled a government plane that was about to carry members of Congress, including the Speaker of the House, on an overseas trip.
The president waited until Democratic lawmakers had already boarded the bus to leave Capitol Hill before calling off their trip. This, of course, coming after Nancy Pelosi made the extraordinary step of calling for the president to postpone or perhaps not even give at all his State of the Union address, an address that is scheduled for a week from Tuesday.
ABC Chief White House Correspondent Jonathan Karl. The shutdown all centered on the fight over money for building a border wall along the southern border in a spot where there is already a wall. Agents say nearly 400 migrants tunneled underneath. Anthony Pavarnik, chief border agent near Yuma, Arizona, says many of them were children.
We don't have the facilities here in Yuma sector. Most Border Patrol sectors don't have the facilities to hold families and children. A full 50% of the people that we're apprehending are children, either accompanied or unaccompanied.
Top North Korean officials in Washington today.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is expected to meet with former North Korean spy chief Kim Jong-chol at a hotel here in Washington, the latest in ongoing talks between the U.S. and North Korea. The top aide to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un could meet later today with President Trump at the White House. It was immediately after a meeting with Kim Jong-chol last June that the president announced his historic summit with Kim Jong-un would go forward.
ABC's Karen Travers at the White House. Former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke is being sentenced today after the 2014 shooting death of African-American teen Laquan McDonald. He faces up to 96 years in prison. And Tesla head Elon Musk today saying the road ahead is difficult after announcing a 7% cut in the company's workforce. You're listening to ABC News.
This is a special announcement for all Americans who owe back taxes to the IRS or state. Pay attention, there's a special toll-free hotline set up especially for you. This hotline will give you free information on how you can legally reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call the taxpayer hotline today at 800-459-1725. Grab a pen or put the number in your cell phone, 800-459-1725. You'll speak with qualified professionals who tell you how to stop the collection calls, IRS letters, bank levies, and wage garnishments, and they'll deal directly with the IRS on your behalf so you don't have to. Even if you haven't filed returns or you are already in a payment plan, you can still get relief. New IRS settlement policies have opened the doors for a fresh start. But hurry, this won't last forever, and your tax problem will only get worse if you do nothing or try to handle it yourself. It makes a big difference in who you call. So call the taxpayer hotline today for free information. 800-459-1725. 800-459-1725.
The governor of Ohio making a pitch to General Motors.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine with a message to General Motors.
If they will put a new line in Lordstown, that we will do everything that we can to support that, help that, put a package together.
The governor was in Lordstown to meet with GM CEO Mary Barra. For now, DeWine isn't holding out hope.
Didn't say no, but certainly gave us no indication that was going to happen.
The car maker will end production of the Chevy Cruze at the plant in that city this March. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
If the skies are clear Sunday night, the moon, supermoon, will be putting on a show. ABC's Todd Ant with details.
The moon, earth, and sun will line up for the only total lunar eclipse over the next 2 years. At the same time, the moon will be closer to Earth and appear slightly bigger and brighter than usual and will look red, sometimes known as a supermoon or blood moon. The whole eclipse starts Sunday night or early Monday, depending on location, and will be visible in North and South America, among a few other countries, and will take about 3 hours. The partial phase begins around 10:34 p.m. Eastern Sunday night. The kids can stay up. Most schools are closed Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Todd Ant, ABC News.
Google says it's looking to the sky for more power. The company has cut a deal with the Tennessee Valley Authority to buy solar power from farms in Tennessee and also Alabama. Google is building new data centers in both states. This is ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the new 4-pack special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and save 50% off the 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's 1-800-635-1825. Or go to MyPillow.com, click the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code SKY at checkout.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
North Carolina Tractor Supply, your Massey Ferguson dealer in Rutherfordton, has some really great ideas this year. This could be the year for you to get that Massey Ferguson you've been wanting. Stop by today and see what Massey Ferguson and Phil Sheehan at North Carolina Tractor Supply have for you. Check to see if you qualify for 0% financing. Today could be your day at North Carolina Tractor Supply, Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton.
We are starting our Friday with sunshine, and that's a great way to start. Later this afternoon, it really warms up, mid-50s to about 60. It will be partly cloudy. Now, later on tonight, it's still cool, the low temperature in the low to mid-40s, although upper 40s toward Charlotte. We expect mostly cloudy skies, then an overcast expected tomorrow. It's windy, it's warmer, the high temperature in the low 60s. We do have the chance for rain, but it's more likely we'll see rain Saturday night. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Mike. We are now 37 degrees, warming up to 56 for our daytime high. The fog is still thick out there, folks, so please allow yourself extra time to get where you're going because it's awful, awful thick. Matter of fact, it's so thick you may run head on into it, but be careful out there. It'll burn off here probably about mid-morning, but right now it is pretty thick out here. 37 degrees currently here at WCAB Studios in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. Congratulations to Tiffany Gibbs of Shingle Hollow. Tiffany won the Daylight Donuts this morning. And we're being kind to Larry Lovelace of Spindale. Larry works over at Walmart. I want to wish him a happy, happy birthday as well. Many of you have heard me talk recently about Solutions Are Here. I've heard me talk about that during the morning show. Solutions Are Here. And I wanted Alicia Edwards, who is the founder of this organization, to be here with me this morning so you can get better acquainted with her. She's the owner-operator of Solutions Are Here, and she's here this morning in the studio to talk with us a little bit. Alicia, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. Tell us, Solutions Are Here. Well, first of all, I know you have a background in counseling and this kind of work. Tell us a little bit about your background and your training.
I went to Appalachian, got my undergrad. Before that, I went to Gardner-Webb, did some studies in religion. And then I went to the University of Southern California, got my master's in social work, and I've been licensed for about 6 years now. I've been working in this field for about 17 years. Started out in the school system, and then moved on to mental health now.
The idea of a clinic such as yours, I call it clinic, it may be a better word, but the idea of this, it seems to be so important right now because we look around, there's so many folks, and I often call it, there's a lot of anger pollution out there. A lot of folks are angry, and there's a lot of marriages on the brinks right now. A lot of people going through depression. You seem to be specializing in that. Tell us why that's important.
Well, I'm a Christian therapist, so I believe in what the Bible says, and we want to keep families together, and that's so important because so many kids now don't have parents that are loving, and you teach an adult how to handle their anger, how to get along, and that's how kids learn. They watch their parents, so it's kind of like a generational thing. If you've missed something, let's retrain you. Let's get that fixed, so your kids don't have that problem. So that's I want to help my community. That's the main thing I'm here for. But I truly, want to base it on that Christian belief. So, keep the family together.
That's important to me as well, to know that your Christianity background, and know that you'll be, approaching these things from a Christian perspective. And I think that's needed also in terms of counseling. The idea of individual therapy, do you do your sessions one-on-one, or do you like a couple? Do you do them by couples, or how do you do your?
So it depends on what you need. If you want the individual, it would just be me and the client. But like couples or marriage counseling would be a combination of both. You've got to get both perspectives and then bring it together. And then, of course, anger management can be done individually or with a group, as well as parenting. With parenting, I also like to get the kids involved. So everybody's on the same page. That's pretty important.
I like what you say in your publicity, in your brochure. It's okay to get help, and I think sometimes folks feel like they could go it alone. They can do this on their own, and afraid to ask for help. But it's important reach out and say it's okay to get help, and I want to call on somebody?
Yeah, I tell clients every day, they come in and they think, well, Alicia, you don't have any problems. And I got problems just like everybody else. And it is important to have that third party sometimes to figure out what is a good solution. What are my options? And it's not always about me telling them what to do. It's giving them those ideas and letting them decide. And then we work through it, whatever they decide.
Now, your sessions, are they daytime, nighttime? How do you handle your office hours?
Right now I'm doing afternoons and weekends. And that may change over time. Just depends on how I'm received.
If somebody were to call and say, Alicia, I heard about you on the radio, and I've got a problem, but I'm not sure what my problem is. Can you help them walk through that process of pinpointing what the problem they might be having that they don't recognize?
Absolutely, and oftentimes it may be more than just one problem. For example, depression and anxiety often go hand in hand. So someone may say, I'm just feeling a little sad. Okay, well, when do you get sad? What's triggering that? Is it a certain time of the day? So lots of things go into that, but there are surveys and questionnaires and those kinds of things that I can use to help pinpoint the problem.
So it could be someone who has a really serious problem, or it could be someone who has a lot of anxiety and they're just not sure what direction I need to go next. So you can help them find that.
Right. Lots of my clients say I'm their friend. So
that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, just a therapist is like someone you call up to, just to talk to. But they got that education background, and they're not going to tell anybody. That confidentiality in North Carolina, the state requires that. So,
how do they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
My cell, the 828-289-5595.
Okay.
That's the best way.
Okay. Again, that's 289-5595. Write that number down. And if you think you might just need someone to talk to, it's okay to get help. Solutions Are Here is the one that we're talking about, and Alicia is the founder and the director, the manager, and the counselor of all this. If you have a problem in life, looking for a solution that leads to success, that's where Solutions Are Here come into play. Now, somebody comes in, you handle this all at one time, or do they need to set up a series of meetings, or does that depend?
It just depends. The parenting classes and the anger management classes, if you want a certificate saying you completed it, and oftentimes they need that for court or DSS or whatever, it's 13 weeks. But the individual therapy, it just depends.
So they can work through that even if the court says you need something like this, they can get that and get a certificate.
Absolutely, yeah. I am certified to do that. Yeah. So.
Keep this in mind, folks. I was really excited to meet Alicia and be able to talk a little bit about this, because I see so many needs out there, and they don't want to go to the more sophisticated hospitals and more sophisticated doctors for those kind of things. But if they got a friend, as you've said, Alicia, got a friend you can talk to, it's okay to talk it out.
Yep, I'm here.
All right, good. Well, and I like the background that you're bringing from a Christian perspective. Why do you think that's important?
Well, it's important to me because a lot of times that's the only thing that gets me through. Just like I said, I got problems too. And we all need that higher being that we can depend on. It's always been a part of my life, and it's always going to be. And I think, especially in this community, that's so important. But so many are not willing to take that leap of faith. So.
Where are you located?
Forest City, in the used to be Watkins Photography. I tell everyone I'm at the end of the sidewalk, so if you go all the way through town, and my house and the office is right at the end of the sidewalk, so you can't miss it. It's on Webb Drive.
A lot of people have posed for pictures in that building.
Yes.
So that's a great location. Again, let me recommend that you talk with Alicia Edwards with Solutions Are Here. And again, that phone number is 289-5595. That's your cell phone.
And they can call or text.
Call or text. Good deal. Alicia, thank you so very much for stopping by and getting better acquainted with us. And we want to touch bases again real soon.
All righty. Thanks, Jim.
And I'll be back here in just a few moments. We have the Sheriff's Report coming up in just a few.
Smith Drug's Home Medical Department. We currently have in stock a CPAP cleaning machine that would not only clean your CPAP and CPAP mask, but also your toothbrushes, mouth guards, dentures, hearing aids, cell phones, electric razors, or just about anything that needs to be sterilized. It takes about 5 minutes, and it does so with its ultraviolet light. We also have lift chairs, seat cushions for the home or car, canes in almost all colors and designs, walkers, and a 10-in-1 pillow perfect for reading or just to get comfortable with. Come downtown to 139 East Main Street, Forest City, and visit us at Smith Drug.
Have you heard the 3 big lies about Medicaid eligibility? First, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Second, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. That's not true. And third, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. That's not true. Please call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Ken Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm for a free consultation and learn the truth about Medicaid and eligibility and nursing home care in North Carolina. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify and not lose everything you own. Call the Arledge Law Firm today at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherford. Again, that's 287-3338.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care. Let's look at some stories now from here and there as we scan other sources of news. The Daily Courier is reporting about traffic stop that nets 2 arrests and drugs. A vehicle stop Wednesday led to a couple arrests on drug trafficking. Narcotics officer stopped a vehicle on U.S. Highway 6474A, found the driver and passenger in possession of evidence related to drug trafficking. Authorities found 62 hydrocodone pills, 8.1 grams of methamphetamine, nearly $1,000 in cash, and a loaded handgun, according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. Benjamin Lee Sane and Brandy Laughlin both have been arrested and charged. Laughlin was charged with trafficking opium and heroin. She was arrested with a $5,000 bail. Sane was charged on multiple felonious charges, including trafficking opium and heroin, driving while license revoked, possession of a firearm by a felon, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of methamphetamine, and maintaining a vehicle for the purpose of drug distribution. He was jailed under an $80,000 secured bond. Both were scheduled to make an initial court appearance yesterday. Meanwhile, an ongoing investigation led to the seizure of drugs, including more than 6 pounds of marijuana. According to the Daily Courier, on Tuesday, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit and the county's interdiction team searched a motorhome on Orange Run Drive and discovered the drugs. In addition, the marijuana authorities seized 24 grams of meth, 66 grams of unknown substance, 37 pills, a shotgun, possible counterfeit U.S. currency, and various drug paraphernalia. The investigation is ongoing. It's good. Get them off the street. Meanwhile, the Daily Courier is also reporting about a defeated Democrat senatorial candidate who lost his bid for the North Carolina Senate, but now he's still determined he wants to bring down a local church. So he's forming a nonprofit to probe into the church's activities, and he's asking you to support it. He's trying to set up a nonprofit with a GoFundMe page, and he's got a goal of $25,000. He wants you to help him raise money so he can close the doors of a local church, and he continues that fight. Meanwhile, the McDowell County Sheriff's Office deputies are currently searching for a man wanted for kidnapping and assaulting his girlfriend earlier this month. According to a Sheriff's Office news release, 38-year-old woman told deputies that she was having an argument with her boyfriend, Christopher Lee Cannon, 41, back in January when he forced her into a vehicle and broke her wrist. Cannon then allegedly drove the woman around and wouldn't let her get out of the vehicle. Detectives have charged Cannon with second-degree kidnapping and assault inflicting serious injury. According to the release, detectives have not been able to locate Cannon. Anyone know anything about his whereabouts, they're asking you to please help them bring him off the street. Men charged with indecent exposure trying to run a woman off the road. That happened over in Caldwell County. A man charged Sunday with indecent exposure after two victims said he exposed himself to them. Tristan Douglas Coffey, he's only 20, old enough to know better, though, of Smoky Creek Road, was charged with 2 counts of indecent exposure after 2 incidents in Caldwell County. According to Caldwell County Public Information Office, Coffey's charges came after 2 incidents last week. They exposed himself to 2 different times, and they got his tag number. For whatever reason, what he was thinking, they got his tag number, turned him in, and he was arrested for that. Sheriff's report coming up here in just a few moments with Deputy Walker reporting in. Here it is now.
On the report, so in the last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 150 calls for service. The jail's processed 13 arrests and is currently housing 177 individuals. Starting with the report, got a few arrest reports here to read off. Kristen Pearson was arrested for contempt of court, perjury, court violations. Justin Palmer Leslie was arrested for assault and physical injury, assault on a government official, and resisting a public officer. Caleb Logan was arrested for disorderly conduct. Philip Ledford was arrested for assault and battery. Moving on to incident investigations reports. Joy Higgins reported a secondary trespass. Jennifer Tate reported a misdemeanor larceny. See here. D. Henderson reported assault and physical injury, assault on a government official, and resist obstructing delay public official. Teddy Lovelace reported a damage to personal property, and Nicole Holland reported a larceny of motor vehicle. And that's it, sir.
Sports update coming up here in just about a minute and a half. Stand by.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Just a couple top 25 men's basketball programs in action last night, and the ranked favorites came out on top. Number 5 Gonzaga beating Loyola Marymount 73-55, and number 6 Michigan State escaped Nebraska 70-64. North Carolina programs in action last night. Hofstra beat UNC Wilmington 87-72. Tyree Griffin had 10 points with 6 rebounds and hit the go-ahead three-pointer with 6 seconds remaining for Southern Mississippi as they defeated UNC Charlotte 63-60. UNC Greensboro beat Western Carolina 69-60, and Radford topped Gardner-Webb 75-58. On the pro court, after a 2-4 West Coast road trip, the Hornets back on home court last night defeated the Sacramento Kings 114-95 in a swap of underperforming but still young players on long-term contracts. The Carolina Hurricanes traded center Victor Rask to Minnesota and acquired left winger Nino Niederreiter. In a media call Thursday, Nino reacted to news of the trade and becoming a Hurricane.
I feel like a trade you never really see it coming, but then sometimes you get feelings which you could be a candidate to be traded, but it's definitely going to be a new beginning, a fresh start, and I'm looking forward to be a part of the Hurricanes.
No word yet if he will be in the lineup when Carolina hosts Ottawa tonight in Raleigh. It's more than likely that he will. Players that get traded always usually shine the best on their first night with a new team. Tonight's game, meanwhile, is one of just 4 before the All-Star break. Rod Brindamore at practice yesterday was asked if there's any added pressure going into the break on a high note.
Well, they're all so important, and unfortunately, we just, nobody's going to come back to us. We're going to have to go get them, and, which means every game's so important, which they all are. I mean, we've been saying that from game one. So there's really nothing changing in our mindset. We have to try to go win tomorrow, and then when we're done that, we'll be saying the same thing about the next game, and that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the season.
This is NCN Sports.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
Defending men's champ Roger Federer moved into the 4th round of the Australian Open as he tries to win the tournament for the 7th time. He conceded only 3 points in his first serve in a straight-set win over 21-year-old American Taylor Fritz. The defending champ advanced to the round of 16 at the Grand Slam event for the 63rd time. Phil Mickelson began his 27th full season as a pro golfer by firing a 12-under 60 in the first round of the PGA Desert Classic. The 48-year-old lefty matched a career low score he shot in the Phoenix Open 6 years ago. The Yankees have acquired another potent arm to join Dellin Betances, Zach Britton, and closer Aroldis Chapman in the bullpen. A person familiar with the negotiation says the Yanks have worked out a 3-year, $27 million deal with Adam Ottavino. He was 6-4 with a 2.43 ERA last season with Colorado. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We are starting our Friday with sunshine. That's a great way to start. Later this afternoon, it really warms up. Mid-50s to about 60. It will be partly cloudy. Now, later on tonight, it's still cool. The low temperature in the low to mid-40s, although upper 40s toward Charlotte. We expect mostly cloudy skies. Then an overcast expected tomorrow. It's windy. It's warmer. The high temperature in the low 60s. We do have the chance for rain, but it's more likely we'll see rain Saturday night. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
37 degrees here in Rutherford. The fog's still pretty thick out there, so watch out for that. If you're leaving, please leave early enough that you don't have to deal with that. It'll be breaking loose probably about mid-morning, but please watch out for the thick fog. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining us. This is Mark with Word of Faith Fellowship, and
We're so glad that you're listening today. We have really enjoyed sharing with you what God has done in our lives at the Word of Faith Fellowship. And so today I have another Word of Faith member. His name is Samuel, and he wants to share with you the things that God's done in his life. God brought him all the way from Brazil. He grew up there, and he has many things to share with you about how God has led him through the years. And he's seen the fulfillment of God's plan for his life come to pass. And he's going to continue to see that as he serves God. So here he is. Samuel, go ahead.
Good morning. I wanted to start by saying, actually, God has been good to me, good to my family, good to my wife. I have 2 little girls, twin girls. They're 4 years old now. They'll be 5 in a couple of months. And, I'm relatively young is what everybody tells me. I'm 34 years old, and but one thing that I've found out about life is that life is short, and if we don't watch, we waste it with things that are not worth wasting it for, and it's like building a building or a Lego set. It's brick after brick every day. And when you go through your childhood, you have that work where the foundation is being built in your life. And then when you get to your teenage years, those walls start going up. And a lot of us get distracted because we really don't understand the shape of that building or of that construction that's forming in our lives. And a lot of us get lost in that time frame of our lives, going after things or looking at buildings out there in the world that are already up high and thinking, I want it that way, or I want my life this way, and you just get distracted and you forget that to get there, you got to keep putting brick after brick, day after day in your life, and making sure the angles are right, making sure the corners are right, making sure the finish on every brick is done correctly. And a lot of us get distracted right there in those teenage years when those walls start really forming in our lives, which is the shape of our lives. And I saw that happen in my life, and I see that happening today, and I see with so many people, and that's kind of what I want to impart to my children, my girls. It's the purpose of life, the purpose of what are you going to do with it? It goes by very fast. I mean, it feels like we just had our girls and they're about to turn 5. So I wanted to start by, I came from Brazil, as Mark said. I grew up in a family where there's a lot of strife. My grandfather had a lot of money, and with that came a lot of a sinful lifestyle, and a lot of strife, and that was one thing that just always hurt me as a child, watching my parents give to strife and attack each other, and growing up seeing that kind of environment. I've always prayed to God since I was young, thinking, God, if one day I have a wife, if one day I have a family, I want to treat him right. I don't want to treat him like this, but you just don't know how to come out of that when you're so engrossed in that, and all your family members are kind of have that spirit, that competitive spirit, and that controlling spirit, and so as I grew up, my parents tried their best to give us the fear of God. I mean, we grew up in church, and when I didn't necessarily grow up in this church or the church affiliated to this church in Brazil. But when I was about 5 or 6, maybe a little bit older, my parents had a neighbor that they went to church together, and they went to a big church, and John Martin was initially part of that church, and John Martin is the pastor at the church in Brazil today, and he started kind of a prayer group and a Bible school on the side, and it kind of formed into a new church out of that one big church. And our neighbor, which we went to church initially together, started going to John Martin's little church, and there was going to be a seminar with John Martin and his group, and a group from Spindale, Word of Faith, came down to Brazil, And my mom and dad were still very close with everybody, really. And they were asked if they could help him bring him from the airport to the houses. So yeah, so they drove to the airport, and when they got to the airport, one of the people that were supposed to host part of the group that came, something happened. I don't know the story, but somehow they could not have those people at their home anymore during the time of that seminar. So my mom and dad overheard that situation and just promptly said, well, they can stay at our house. We're right next to so-and-so, which was that other couple that was already going to the church, the lady that was going to the church. And long story short, my mom and dad ended up hosting that family for that week, and they would take him to the seminar every morning, drop him off, and the plan was to just go on to their life. But then they invited them to just stay for the seminar, so they stayed for the seminar, and we just became part of the church after that. And I'm still here to this day. And I was just a young child back then, but a lot of things that we never had answers for, which was part of the relationships, that the way the relationship was at home and things like that. We started to understand that we could come out of all that environment that we were living under, and my mom and dad started to want deliverance, to want prayer, to want to understand God's ways more and more, and they started to impart into us, and we just grew up learning that every day, and my parents did, and when I became a teenager, that's kind of when those bricks, you start seeing those walls coming up, and you forget, you get distracted with the pulls of the world, we get distracted with things you want to do or you want to be, or things you want to explore and investigate, and I started doing that as a teenager, and it got myself a lot in trouble, and to the point that I didn't know if I really wanted God or not. I didn't know if I wanted to stay in the church or not. I didn't know if I wanted to just go out and do those things, I was in that confusion, and my parents tried their best to help me. The church in Brazil tried their best to help me, and but I started coming to children's seminars here in the U.S. for Word of Faith back when I was 13, which was when all this turbulent moment was starting to happen in my life, and I saw the youth here. They were happy. They were full of love. They were smiling. They weren't as driven as I was being driven to go out and do things. And I started to listen, and I started to just want to learn what that was all about. And it's like those seeds were being put in my life every day to want to understand really what it meant to serve God, what it meant to really surrender your heart totally to God, and just trust Him that He can build your walls and form your life. And one day you're going to look at it and say and understand why you did certain things or why you didn't do certain things, because of that construction that's going on in our lives. And so as I went through that turbulent moment, one thing I always had in my heart was, whenever I graduate from high school, I would love to spend some time in North Carolina, to possibly even go to college, to possibly just dedicate my time to understand how my life is going to be, what am I going to do with my life, and spend time with God and spend time with people that could help me hear the voice of God clearly. And thank God my dad and my mom agreed, and they felt like that would be the best thing to do. And because they could help me, but they could only help me so much. And I thank God for that decision in their lives to this day. And so I moved here, and I lived with Brooke and Kent, two ministers in the church, for most of the time, and went through college, and just determined in my heart to understand God's ways, to understand what life was all about, to understand what serving God meant, and to understand and I think that's the difference of a lot of people. They get to a point in their lives and they want to do what is right, but they don't come wholeheartedly. They don't come with that sincere heart of just wanting to know God. And I think that's where a lot of people get in trouble. They start judging, they start attacking, they start, it's not, but when you come sincere and you just want to do whatever is right, to understand, to want to build one day that building, which is your life down the road, which is the call of God in your life, translated into what the Bible teaches you, you lose your focus. So going through college, I went through college and I graduated. I met my wife while I was in college, and I graduated from college and got married immediately, and then opened a business immediately right after that, and started to just cry out to God every day how to do it, what was my next brick, what was my next step in life, and God has blessed me. God has blessed me for that heart of just wanting to understand His ways, just wanting to cry out to Him, just wanting to pour out my heart to Him, and I've gotten to meet so many wonderful people here and in many other places. I mean, today we have, our business has grown. We have locations in Texas, in Dallas, Laredo. We have locations in New York. We have, right now I have 15 employees. And God is just blessing us. It's like, and you don't even understand. It's like I didn't know how that building was being formed. I was just doing brick by brick, and I understand now. Looking back, I can start seeing some type of form and shape coming up. And it's so good, but it's so humbling at the same time, because it wasn't my mind and my intelligence and my smartness and my haughtiness and pride that did it. It was just being focused in God every day and not letting all the distractions of my youth and all the distractions, that are going on right now to distract, and just continue building, continue going, and all of a sudden you look back and there's something shaping up. And that to me is the most valuable thing, and to watch how God is good to those who are sincere. And it's like my word for the day is like sincerity, because I see how most people never come to understand that unless you're sincere and you stop being fake to yourself and to the people around you, you're never going to do anything. You're never going to accomplish anything. You're just faking to yourself and to others who you are and what you're doing and where you want to go or where you want to be. And I'm just grateful to God for what He's done in my life. And the other thing that I want to kind of address today is all these allegations against this church, against what this church does, or what this church preaches, or what the pastors of this church do or say. When I moved to the United States, I lived with Brooke and Ken, as I mentioned before. I lived for a short period of time with you and Holly, Mark, and I'm forever grateful for that. And I value every moment we've had together, talking in your living room and understanding and discussing life. And that's what we did, and that was the brick for that day, right, that I built. And but the part that bothers me is that many of those people today that are attacking and that are saying the things that they're saying, that are coming up with all these stories and all these fabrications, they were in those living rooms with us talking. They were trying to figure out their lives too. They were trying to understand where they wanted to go, or what they wanted to do, or what they wanted to be. I live with, I know many of us have heard about the Cooper family, which is the pretty much who is behind all this attack against the church, all the lies that are on the media, on Facebook, social media, all that. It's really a small group of people that have adhered to the Cooper family and their mentality and their judgmental way of being, and have left this church to attack us, for the very thing that, the most precious thing to me, which is this church has been founded in sincerity. And one thing that I've always watched in Sam and Jane is that they're not fake, and they don't try to fake it to anybody. They don't try to run around the corners to explain something. They just tell you the way they see it, the way God tells them in the Bible. And if you agree or not agree, and if you're big or small, if you're black or white, and if you're from whatever country you come from, or if you have any type of background or no background, they're not looking at that. They're just telling you what they're seeing and what they're reading and what God is speaking to them, and they're just giving it to you as it is.
That's right.
And that to me was something that I'd never seen it before with anybody. And today I deal with people all over the world, and people are fake out there, and most people are fake, and every once in a while you find somebody that's honest and sincere, and that's how they are, and that's what, and going back to the part where it's so puzzling to me how these people that I lived with, that I grew up with, that I've learned the same things together with them, how they lost focus of their construction of their life, and they wanted to just look out at whatever was out there, thinking they could just jump from here to there and become that one day without doing the work that is required every day to build our lives, to continue building your walls, to continue building your structure that one day is going to form. And then what I've watched is that because they lost their focus, they start to try to attack the people around them that are focused, that are determined to continue to build those bricks every day. And sooner or later they get jealous, and all this attack is because they're jealous of a group of people that are just focused to fulfill the call of God in their lives, to continue putting brick after brick. And I have to be honest. I mean, I'm busy. I got tons of employees. I got tons of warehouses to take care of every day, every week. Got so many customers. I mean, one of their allegations is that we're so deprived of the world. We don't know what's out there. We don't know. We don't communicate with nobody from outside the church. I mean, we were working with our marketing firm, and we counted 45 countries that are in my system that I've done business with, that have actually fill out a customer form to do business with our company today. 45 different countries. I mean, I just shipped a container to Lebanon 2 weeks ago. I travel all over the country. I travel overseas. I do things. It's what they say is when I have time to hear what they're saying, it's puzzling to me, because to me it's just a bunch of people that are jealous of people that are just focused trying to build their life, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why waste your time? Life is so short. Every breath, every time we talk, every time we spend time like this, it's to build each other up. It's to understand that building you're building. It's to understand that where you're going. It's to understand, to make sure you don't lose track of the direction you're walking every day. And I mean, the people I deal with, even out in other places, other states, other cities, from other backgrounds, that they got to know me as personally as in business relationships. They loved honesty. And they're attracted to that. Everybody. I'm attracted to people that are honest. I want to do business with them. I want to talk to them. I want to spend time with them. I want to know what they have to say, what the experiences they've had. And that's how my relationships are built out there. And they get to know who I am, and I share with them, in many cases, my background, where I come from, and what I'm going through as a church. And everybody that has common sense out there and looks at it and understands the picture say, these people are just wasting their life. Why don't they go live their life and leave you guys alone? There's nothing. And that's the way I see it. I mean, I'm in this church. All the allegations they bring are just perplexing. There's no truth in it. There's no, and truthfully, there's no time to waste to even know what they're. It's like it's a constant feed of things, and anybody that's responsible and is building a real life, shouldn't have time to even listen to all this. And the other part that really bothers me bad is that my parents were so instrumental to bring me here today, to where I'm at. But yet, my brother, my parents, they got caught up in this too. And when they were one of the first ones to leave the church and attack, you know, along with the Cooper family. And to me, today I look back at it, the very foundations that they taught me, they don't agree anymore. I mean, things that they taught me before we came to this church. You know, I mean, I was thinking about that this morning, which in Brazil, Christmas is not as strong as in America. But from birth, I always knew there was no such thing as Christmas. It was all a marketing thing. My dad always explained that to me. My mom always told me there's no such thing as Santa Claus. There's no Christmas trees. That's all fake. That's all for money making, marketing in the Western world. And I always knew that. And then now, obviously, we all know, we learned that in our church, at Word of Faith, and that's the way we believe. But we're mocked for that, we're attacked for that, and then my parents leave, and they now celebrate Christmas. The very thing they taught me from birth before they came to this church, but they got caught up in all this along with the Coopers, and they got offended because they didn't want to be sincere all of a sudden. They wanted to keep their sin. They didn't want to abide by what God was teaching us, and God was, you know, the revelations that God was giving us in the Bible, which if they don't agree with something, that's what I don't get. If somebody doesn't agree with something, go out, move on, go live your life, live the way you believe it's right. But I don't understand why they get so obsessed in trying to attack people that are here just trying to be sincere. You know, and I went through that with my dad. He hates it that I'm in this church. He absolutely despises me that I'm in this church. He cursed me and said that I was going to lose everything when I stayed in the church and he left because he wanted me to leave with him. He said I was going to be the prodigal son. He said I was going to lose all the money he always put in me. I mean, he threatened and threatened and threatened and threatened to scare me, to make me think that I'm in this cult and in this bad environment. And all that has done in my life since I made the decision to stay and serve God with my whole heart, everything that has happened in my life is opposite to what he said. And I'm watching their lives really to become a very unhappy life, to become a very sad life, a depressed life. And, you know, I just hope one day they'll wake up. And I know one day they will wake up. I know one day all these people are going to wake up and understand that they've wasted their lives, and all of a sudden they're going to look around themselves and see a bunch of buildings built and a city built of people that have stayed the course and built brick after brick every day. And they're going to look at their lives, and it's going to be all halfway built. It's going to be maybe even torn down. And that's where I'm just grateful to God that God has helped me stay the course, because it's paid off. And I know I'm doing what God called me to do every day. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of being in this church. I'm actually proud. I'm actually proud to be part of the church, to be part of this ministry, and to be part of God's family, and to have learned that serving God is the best thing that there is.
Yeah. And you know, Sam, you were sharing about people that have left our church, and they hear some of the things that God has taught us in our church, and then they leave, and instead of moving on with their life, they somehow make it their mission to attack us. They could go
Correct.
on with their life and live their life.
I have a good example. I meant to say that. Ben Cooper, it's probably the leader of everything that's on the media, on TV, and all that, attacking us. You know, a few weeks ago, he went on my website and put a bad review on Google saying that I'm a crook, I'm a thief, I deceive people, and I do all this, like trying to tell people that I'm somebody that I'm not. And I thought to myself, interesting, why would he come out of his way? He's never done business with my company or nothing. Why would he come out of his way to come try to make me look bad and tell all this story? I mean, he wrote a huge paragraph just talking bad about me. And I thought, he's accusing me of what he is. And he's so jealous of people that are serving God and growing and prospering and being blessed. They don't have time to listen to him and what he has to say. He has to come to try to pull my attention so I can look at him for about 3 minutes of my life.
And as you're sharing this, I'm so reminded of the Bible and how it talks about that's exactly what happens when people purpose to serve God.
Yeah.
There will always be those who will attack and try to stop. It's amazing. The devil will always use somebody and find somebody to try to stop what God's doing. We as a church, you and I have both seen it over the years. We've had so much negative media attention through these ex-members, and it's like you've shared. They take something that was something our church learned in the scriptures, and we had a sincere belief in, and they may disagree with it, and they leave, which is fine in their belief, but
Correct.
Then they attack. And what we're seeing, Samuel, and you and I have seen it over and over again, is that the Bible has promised those who want to serve God will be met with persecution. Jesus said it. He said that they hated me, and if they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. And so anybody, like you said, who wants to live a sincere, devoted life to God, as it says in 2 Timothy, will be met with persecution. And so as you shared it, it's shocking at times to see these people very close, your own family and your friends that you grew up with. It's shocking to see these people that we knew very well and poured our hearts out with each other, and they leave. But like you said, they don't move on with their life. They make it the mission to try to come against things that we as a church hold in sincere belief. Others may not, but we certainly believe God has shown us this way. And so we are seeing that as a church. But one of the things I love that you shared is that it is that God wants us all to be sincere with Him.
That's right.
And I've seen that in your life over the years as you've had friends and even family depart from what God was speaking to you and your life and try to pull you out. You've held fast to what you know in your heart to be true.
Right.
And that's really a lesson for all of us. It's a lesson in my life that I've seen over the years is we want to live a life where God is speaking to us personally, and we're living, as Samuel said, each brick of our life God is laying to build us who He wants us to be. The Bible talks about how we're all being built up into the family of God, into the body of Christ, and God lays each stone with the foundation being Jesus Christ. And so I so enjoyed hearing that, how you shared that, because that's so true. And we get distracted and we don't let God build how He wants to build, and we try to go this way or that way. But I've seen that in your life, and I've seen how God's blessed you, and I know God's going to keep blessing you as you keep letting Him build brick by brick. And so truly it's a good lesson that we've heard today about being sincere. And I know in your heart and my heart and the members of our church, we've really wanted to be sincere and live a life that God has shown us to live. Live a life following the Bible and asking Jesus, how can we know you more every day? And yes, there have been people who have not liked that message. They've left our church, and as he said, our pastors in church, they just preach the gospel. They don't try to cover it over and maybe cater to somebody or this or that. They preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. I know their hearts are very sincere, and there are people who have not liked that message of the gospel of Jesus Christ being preached straightforward and true. And so we have seen that persecution, but all the while, God is strengthening us. He's building us into what He wants us to be, and we're so grateful. So Samuel, thanks so much for sharing, and he and his family are such blessings in our church, and we thank you listeners for listening today. This is Mark Morris with Word of Faith Fellowship, and if you would like to hear more of our radio programs, they're all recorded and videoed, you can go to our website. It's wordoffaithfellowship.org. And we are here on this radio program Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. I hope that you will continue listening. Thank you very much.
Nothing goes better with your early cup of coffee than Jim Bishop in the mornings on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The partial government shutdown now 4 weeks long. Today's day 28, and while hundreds of thousands of government workers go without pay, there's no sign of any talks. Also, still up in the air, the president's visit to the Capitol Hill in a week and a half.
It's still not clear what's going to happen with the State of the Union. It's still scheduled for Tuesday, January 29th. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has not uninvited President Trump or canceled the address, but has asked to talk with him about postponing it. So far, the president has not indicated if he'll have that conversation with Pelosi or just move forward and look for another venue to deliver his address to the nation. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
This morning in Washington, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is meeting with the top North Korean official Kim Yong-chol for talks on a possible second summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Cutbacks are coming to Tesla.
In a company-wide email this morning, Elon Musk seems to acknowledge that he may have allowed his electric car company to grow too quickly by boosting his workforce by 30% last year in order to ramp up production of the lower-priced Model 3 variant in the coming months. Musk says he's reluctantly letting about 3,100 employees go.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. The Chicago